what I loved about previous aspects of my life was when I was standing on 2 feet and could be there for other people. I think that's peak. Like being there for other people when they have their problems, when they need somewhere to stay, when they need emotional support, when they need potentially financial support, when they need whatever it is they need, that you're there and you can help them. And I'm lucky enough to have been able to do that. You know, I think the worst time to turn on the camera, or potentially the best time, depending on, I don't know, your relationship with your followers. I've always liked my followers, you know, they are long-standing. Like, I've been on this app for definitely more than 15 years, I think. Born Free, the channel, has probably been around for 15 years. And I have found that over time there are people who just kind of get you and stick with you and support you. I'll never forget, I think, that moment in time where I no longer had to defend myself against trolls and what have you, where other people would jump in and do that for me. What an amazing time that was. What an amazing feeling that is. When, you know, you're busy doing stuff, maybe you're busy creating at your peak. You're creating, and maybe you don't have enough time to pay attention to all of the feedback. And some of it is trolling or whatever, or people who are jealous, or people who want to take you down, which happens, by the way. It's fucking weird. But it also has to do with, often has to do with money and situations you hadn't even considered. Things that are going on out there, roles, jobs, your position within a community. I didn't really have money issues back in the day when I was doing my thing, although I wasn't very future based. I didn't think about the future because I didn't think I was going to last on this plane of existence, this planet. I thought I'd be out by a certain time before now. So the future wasn't something that existed for me, which is kind of a strange thing to wrap your head around unless you've been there. Mentally, I mean. But these last few days have been sort of mentally, physically, emotionally exhausting. Going for a job interview, which didn't work out, by the way. Trying to make myself small for the job interview because it was just a basic job. But playing small is not the answer. So I think in future I'm going to have to essentially go for what makes most sense for me, which is probably going to be some type of managerial or leadership role, when actually I'd really rather just be doing something quite simplistic. It seems that much of the simplistic roles are kind of difficult to find yourself in unless you are young and up and coming, malleable. Malleable is a good word. Not someone who could potentially be a threat to their boss or whatever, depending on how those people think. I used to like surrounding myself with, when I created teams, when I was able to create teams, I used to like surrounding myself with really good people that were better than me in so many ways, so that I could put the team together, and this person would be good at this, this person would be good at this, this person would be good at this, and they would be cohesive and they would get on with each other. I would make sure that they hopefully felt good about what they were doing, and they felt good together, and they complemented each other, and I could just sort of sit back and observe and go, great. Regardless, I had a couple of days where, so I did some gardening work as well, which was pretty hardcore. We were cutting down trees and branches and bamboo and shifting it up and down a really long garden and sticking it into a chipper, if you know what that is, in the bright sunshine. And I think the combination of sunshine, dehydration, I was really dehydrated, dehydration, then quickly having to shower, go to an interview, which had a bizarrely strong hold on me in regards mentally, emotionally, because I'm desperate to make money right now. And just get back on track, you know? So in many ways, I think that it was a more strenuous day than I was expecting. Like, to me, I just got on with it. I did feel nervous for the interview, much more nervous than normal. And I thought, why are you feeling nervous about this interview of all interviews that you've been to in your life? Why this one? Maybe because I haven't done one for a very long time. Well, that's not true, because I did one like a month ago, which was fine. But this one was different. Just felt nervous. It just came. These nerves came. And I remember thinking, well, how am I going to calm these nerves? I think what I will do is tell myself it doesn't matter if you get the job. So it helped a bit. But then I did this sort of analysis afterwards of what I thought I did right, what I thought I did wrong, and then I kind of came to the conclusion that perhaps I wasn't going to get the role because I'd shown too much of myself. That I was a bigger, more confident person than perhaps they wanted. For that specific role, I think what they want is a quiet, young, malleable, attractive person who does what they're told and gets on with it, and you know. So anyway, what was interesting was that evening I just felt unbelievably exhausted, like my body on a different level to what I felt for a while. Now, I've done a fair bit of physical labour, various jobs and things over the last couple of years. You know, I'm getting older, but as long as your diet's okay, it's fine. And that's where I think the problem lies. I think, you know, I say I think, but I do know that obviously eating instant ramen every day to try to keep costs down, I thought, well, it's a filler. In my mind it was like, it's a filler, and I'll add an egg and some olive oil and things will be fine. But it's not really. I think it actually is pretty poisonous to your body, without having done much research. But I did see a reel or a TikTok the other day of how it's made, and it's pretty awful. It's poison. And I think that has been affecting my body in a very negative way, and hence I'm now going to avoid that completely. I'd rather just have 2 eggs and try and fill myself nutritionally than eat that. Even if it's low in calories, it feels like it's a better thing to be doing. When I started this video, I was feeling rather down. in that I feel a little disconnected from everybody around me. Family, friends, who all have their own little lives and they're doing their thing. And it reminded me of that saying, nobody's going to come and save you. I think that's the saying, nobody's going to come and save you. Which becomes more and more true the older you get, I think, particularly as a man. And again, not a problem. Like, you have to keep pushing on and do your thing and find your way. What I loved about previous aspects of my life was when I was standing on 2 feet and could be there for other people. I think that's peak. Like, being there for other people when they have their problems, when they need somewhere to stay, when they need emotional support, when they need potentially financial support, when they need whatever it is they need, that you're there and you can help them. And I'm lucky enough to have been able to do that. And it was a wonderful feeling. Even Superstorm Sandy was a really good example, I remember, where people were just like homeless and, well, not completely homeless. There were people who were homeless, but a lot of the people that I knew were homeless in the sense that nothing was working. The Rockaways was hit hard, but I didn't know many people from the Rockaways, even though I did go out there to help. That's a whole nother story. That was a really interesting time and devastating time. But it just so happened that my building, for whatever reason, was on a specific power grid that was protected, and I had everything. I kept Wi-Fi all the way through Superstorm Sandy. I kept electricity, I hot water, the whole lot. And I had people I knew, friends of friends, come to my house, have a shower, use my Wi-Fi, reset, go out and try and get their shit together. It's nice to be in that position to be able to do that. But right now I'm like at the other end of that spectrum, where I'm of no use to anybody. That's how it feels. I'm talking about stuff that's going on in my head, right? Stuff that I clearly have to deal with, but talking about it helps. Sometimes putting it out there helps. These videos have helped. But what I'd really like to be is a ray of sunshine. Turn up and be a ray of sunshine. Much like many of my old videos would act as a ray of sunshine in people's lives. That's what you want to be. Not you, but me. That's what I want to be, is a ray of sunshine. I want to be there for people. I don't want to be a burden on people. I want to be close to people. And right now I feel myself receding more and more into the background until I'm disappearing. Like, I feel that way with family. I feel that way with friends. I think one of the things I'm trying to do right now, attempting to do, is change my relationship with a lot of people, because a lot of relationships for me have turned into text messages. Texting back and forth every day, group chats, whatever. But I need a closer connection, so I need to start switching that to just starting with video calls, one-on-ones, chats with people, seeing what's going on with them, seeing what their problems are, seeing what their highlights are, seeing everything that's real about them rather than making assumptions, or perhaps seeing what they're, in many ways, not displaying, not necessarily hiding, but not displaying. Having that human connection, that laughing and what have you. So this video is an interesting one. I'm not sure, it's a big weekend in America, Independence Day and all that stuff. but it is my channel. I can put out whatever I want. I don't mean to bring people down. I just wanted to express myself, and that's how I'm feeling at the moment. Maybe I'll feel better later on today. I had a lot of weird dreams, bro. Those are weird dreams. Not weird, just like almost the opposite of weird. Actually, they were just like everything was a mess. You know, everything was a mess. In my dreams, everything was a mess. Everything. I'm talking about like physical things around me. I'm talking about my body. My dream, it was like, you need to go see a doctor. You need to go get a blood test. You need to go find out what's going on with you, because something's not working. In my dream, there were these plants. I don't have plants, really, in my room or anything like that. I had all these plants, and they were all dying. And I was too late, you know. In my dream, this is a weird and quirky one. I had friends who were going out on stage to do comedy and were failing. And sometimes there was nobody in the crowd. I don't know what any of this means. This is another stream of consciousness brought to you by Mark. But I think I like the authenticity of it, the rawness of it. So I may or may not upload this, I haven't decided yet. There's loads of other videos, by the way, that I would like to upload this weekend. If not this week, I have a whole list. And I think some of them, they just vary. Like some of them are lovely, wonderful, interesting, and fun memories. Some of them are thoughts that are more positive. Some of them are things that I admire, gratitude, all the positive things that you do in your life, you know. Some of them are about people I admire. Yeah, there's a lot in here. You see the word Seth Killian over there. There's somebody that I've always admired. So yeah, anyway. Happy weekend. Yeah, so that's my video diary entry today, I suppose. I think what I'm probably going to do is I bought a load of comfort food, which by the way is comforting but also makes me feel incredibly miserable. Sugar basically makes me feel it's a drug to me, a very malicious drug to me, that every now and then I just find myself buying a load of sugary products, eating them, and then once that moment has passed, I feel very different. And life can change like that. That's the beauty of it. Tomorrow I could get a job that I really like and start building from there. But you know, we're on a journey. I said we were on a journey, and I think it's important to record the highs and lows. Keep talking about it going like this. And it doesn't just go like this in terms financially, it goes like this emotionally, mentally. And so I thought I'd capture that, which I have. The question is, do I put it out? Don't know. If I do, then hi and goodbye.